happened?
So a couple of weeks ago, we were anchored out at one of our absolute favorite spots over by the Mokulua Islands. We had the anchor set, everything was perfect. However, when we went to haul the anchor back, this windlass made a horrific chunking sound and then quit working. So of course, we checked all of the breakers. No breakers were popped. We do know that this windlass is probably at least 25 years old. It's a classic Horizon 600. It's been incredible. It's done the job. But if you look closely, you can see some of the teeth are starting to chip down here. And you can't get parts for this thing anymore. I tried looking for a new gypsy head. They're unavailable. So our only option is to replace this thing with a new one. So what are we gonna use? This is the windlass of choice, the Lumar Profish. Looking at the weight of our entire anchor rode, as well as just sort of how much we'll use this thing, we decided this would be the best windlass for us. So that's the project, is we're gonna remove the old one. We're gonna remove the old wiring as well. We're gonna wire a new 8-gauge wire, because that's what this requires for the length of the run. And then we'll put our same anchor right back on and be back in the water soon.
How amazing is it that the Horizon lasted 25 years?
It is pretty amazing for this thing, especially there's some plastic parts on here. The chain stripper here, the fact that it didn't break, that it's, that's amazing. This thing just sits out here exposed like this, taking spray all the time in the ocean. The fact that it has worked this long is pretty incredible.
And they really don't make them anymore.
And they really don't make them. I think the Horizon was bought out by Lumar and they make something similar, but this is a bigger, herkier version. What's cool about this one, we'll get there, is that we can install a remote control. I'm excited about that. This also has a free fall option where we can just let the anchor go, whether it's an emergency or if we just want to preserve battery power and not lower it slowly, we'll be able to just let it go. So lots of cool improvements with the new Lumar Profish. So to get the project going, we're gonna have to make a couple stops. Home Depot for a 3-inch hole saw, which is what we need to enlarge the opening in the deck here that the chain falls through. And then also we're gonna need some 8-gauge wire, which is the appropriate thickness for the length of the run of the wire on this boat, from the battery to the windlass itself. We're gonna make sure we get the right style of wire too for boats, and that's that tin coated copper.
And is that because this is a higher amp?
The amperages are really about the same between the two. It's we're gonna replace the wire just because the old wire probably is 25 years old and degraded from being out here. And it's a good idea. We've learned that lesson with other boat improvements, boat projects, that you gotta put the new wires in or you may be frustrating yourself. That's right. Yep. I got lazy on that one and didn't switch out the wires and they became the problem. So now we're just gonna put in the new wire, and that way we can make sure we have good connections everywhere too. It's a real forcing function to make sure that you've closely inspected everything, especially if you're just gonna put on new terminals, new connectors, new wire. Made it here to our favorite spot to spend money on boats, West Marine. On the wires. All right, got what we need. It's like the skies are dark though. Thanks, West Marine. Appreciate you. Quick look at what we're dealing with here is replacing both of these, both the breaker switch and the control switch. One of the best things about this will be that the new switch is organized correctly to where when you pull the switch up, the anchor comes up, and when you push the switch down, it goes down, not opposite like this one. Maybe there was a reason for doing that. I don't understand what it was, but either way, both of these will get replaced. Take a look at the wiring on the back. We can see the power in, power out of the breaker, power in here from the windlass. Looks like we got our grounding wire, runs over here. Maybe that's a good ground. Should be able to reuse some of that. Yeah, but mainly we gotta do the windlass. That's where they should go. So we have power. Those look like pretty small gauge wires too, considering the new one called for 8 gauge wire. So replacing some of this might be a really good thing. Might handle the load better, carry more amperage forward. This is for sure interesting. The way this is connected in there, that looks sketchy. Fix that. Sketchy. Yeah, so now we're down inside the cabin, and in order to get to the anchor locker, you can see over here is our little access point. Inside there we can see the wiring for the windlass where we need to, and the screws, the mounting screws. We can take all that apart and figure out step 1, step 2, all those steps. Okay, so we're working on power. So first things first is to disconnect the power from the battery so we don't fry anything.
After checking out the wiring diagram for this boat and comparing what we currently have, what did you discover?
Currently, the windlass power is pulled from a little bus bar underneath the console. It does not run straight to the battery. And so when we're using the windlass, we see the power, the amps drop to everything else, and some of the electronics work funny because they're not getting the right amount of power. We're gonna put this the way the wiring diagram shows it, which is wired directly to the battery. And we're also going to use the proper gauge of wire. Depending on the length of the cable run from your switch and from your windlass to your battery determines how thick the cable is that you need. So for us, we're going to use 8 gauge wire, which is this Pacer Marine boat cable, 8 gauge, 2 strand, just a power and a ground. And then we're going to put fresh connectors on everything. Everything will be shrink wrapped, heat shrink, so that the cable will just prevent as much moisture from getting into it as possible. But that should make our wiring job way more secure, and we should hold all the amps we need from the battery to the switch and then to the windlass. Yeah, so pulling stuff out of the box. First part, which is, this is new for me. I've never worked with a contactor before, but as the power comes from the battery, it'll go first to our circuit breaker. The positive lead will go to the circuit breaker first, and then it will come to the positive lead here on the contactor. I have to say that correctly. It's not contractor, it's contactor. And then from here, the power will go out to the actual switch for the windlass, and then the negative also from here. So it's kind of exciting. I mentioned in the intro part where this switch now, when you push the button up, the anchor should come up and down for down. That'll make a big improvement. But yeah, so new 50 amp circuit breaker. So what we need to do is make wires and proper connections for all of these, which we did get at West Marine.
What are you doing with those grabbers?
So this grabber, which normally we use for grabbing cane toads from the front yard and throwing them back off of the property, is also a really great arm to get the cable. We're running the new cable. It's got to go underneath the gunnel and up through. So I can see it all the way in the back. Yeah, let's see if I can. Sort of way back there. I'm going to use this grabber to try to fish it out. Oh yeah, look at it coming out. You see it?
No. Oh, there it is.
Yes. Alright. I'll have to crop that out.
Yeah. Okay.
Look it up in there. I'm gonna get this thing to focus. Focus on that. That's an old pair of vice grips stuck on the back of the nut. Yeah, because I think I just broke it loose. Oh. There we go. To the previous owner, I found your vice grips. You want them back? Just kidding. All right.
Did you dislocate your shoulder trying to get that out of there?
A little bit. It's not dislocated, it's just mad. Yeah, so now I can route this wire up, hopefully. It's so hard to see up in here. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, I forgot.
What?
So I can route this wire from here, and then it goes down in there, but then at some point, it has to come back up. So here's what we're gonna do is use this fish tape here. We're gonna run this through there where we're gonna put it in where we want the wire to come out. Fish it down through, tape it to the wire, and then pull the wire back up through.
Is that the official name of this fish tape?
I don't know, that's what everybody calls it. If it's got a proper name, somebody tell me, because I don't know what it is. It doesn't say anything on it. Pull tip to extend tape, turn knob to retract. Yeah, fish tape. Oh, look at that. It came right through exactly perfectly. It's gonna be a great day. Here's the tip. Just the tip. Yep. So I tape it on here, and then you kind of tape it in a way to where it has a taper, so it will slide past anything that would try to snag it. Boom. There we go. So now I should just be able to I gotta give a little on this side. Yeah. All right.
Fish tape.
Yep. So these are both totally disconnected. Now I'm just gonna pull them out, and like we're saying, hopefully we don't have to cut any holes to mount the new ones. Hopefully they just go right in. Where are they? Let's see. Oh shoot, it's a much smaller switch. Oh boy, that sucks. That's not a good sign. So it looks like, so this is the hole from the old switch, and it looked like we're gonna have to do a bunch of fiberglass work, but instead I think if we put it exactly right, all we have to do is fill those holes, polish it up a little bit, and we've totally covered the old hole. That's exciting. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Not too bad. Not in bad shape, but definitely going to switch this out for the new one, which is... Oh yeah, that's basically a
That's perfect.
sort of one-for-one mount. Right, I love it. While the switches are off, I'm going to use some Meguiar's one-step compound just to clean this up so that we get a nice flat surface, or a nice clean surface. Then we'll go through and fill all these holes. There's no wax in this, it's just cleaner. So we're not leaving any wax that would prevent the hole filler from adhering. This is what it looks like after our first cleaning. Then we're going to take the drill bit and clear out all these holes so that there's fresh wood for the resin, the gel coat resin we're going to use to plug them. It can stick directly to the wood. Okay, so the goal here is just to take out this discoloration. Oh, really, it's the original color of the gel coat on the console, and then it's the faded section there. So the goal is we're gonna wet sand it a little bit to blend that in a little bit. It's not gonna make it perfect, but it will make it better. Then we'll come back with a rubbing compound and polish it back up again. Get those wires out of the way. The discoloration is less pronounced for sure. Try to wet sand it just a little bit more, see if we can get it better, and then we'll clear out those holes and fill them. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do is, because we're going to fill these holes, we want to drill them out to make sure there's new material for the resin to bite into. So I'm going to start with the bit that's about the same size as the hole and see if this pulls any material out. That's what I want. Okay, we're back. So I want to share with you guys what I'm using. This is from Spectrum Color. They will provide you this gel coat patch paste repair kit. I really like it. It's because it's color matched perfectly. If you're good at color matching on your own of gel coat, maybe you don't need assistance, but I definitely do. So now I'm just mixing up a little batch. I've already put in the MEK. So just get it mixed in here nicely so that this stuff lights off quickly. We'll smush it into those holes and hopefully it will harden up fairly quickly so I can wet sand. Oh, I can feel a tiny bit of heat already. That's magnificent. Come back. Come back and smush it into the holes. The problem with this stuff is just getting a hold of it. If you're in a place like us, like Hawaii, where nobody wants to ship stuff here, or very few, it becomes difficult to find someone who will ship to Hawaii, especially, you know, hazmat-y stuff like this. Really smush it down into those holes. See, the ones that will be the most exposed are these. It should have some acetone here. Okay, time to start taking the old Horizon off. We'll go down below and undo the bolts and cut the wires, and hopefully it comes right up out. See how this hole is doing. There's the old windlass wires. So it looks like mounting bolt. And that's it. Just 2 mounting bolts. Interesting. Not too bad. All right, moment of truth. Hopefully this guy comes right up out of here. Not coming out real easy, but it's moving. Yikes. Of course it's harder than it's supposed to be. Needs to be. We'll get a nail puller. All right. Got the old Stanley nail puller here. See if we can gently exert some pressure up. There we go. It's funny, they say in the instructions for the new windlass, they say, hey, if you don't need all this bolt, trim it off. There's no need for that much bolt. All right. Yes. Nice. Yes, now we're going to figure out where this thing is going to go. This is the 3-inch hole. that we need to drill. We'll be running the center line. That's good placement. We want this set as far back as possible. So this back edge, we'll put as close back here. We'll leave just a smidge of non-skid left. And now this is center line. We want to make sure that's the center line of this, of the bow pulpit. The grit on here looks like it's 12 3/4 inches, so 6 3/8 is the center. So we'll come over to 6 1 2. Oh wait, half of. Yeah. So notably here, you're supposed to drill out with a 3/8 or a 10mm drill bit. Here, here, and here. There's already a hole there, there, and there that lines up. The holes right here for the wires are the only thing that need to be re-drilled. But then the actual hole itself, for the chain to fall through, is already there. So I'm gonna pull this because I don't, well, I guess the one thing I needed for is to line up the holes for the wiring. Yeah, so. Yeah. So this gasket also lets us know everything lines up. So that's pretty good. I'm not even going to cut out the 3-inch hole. I feel like that's a waste to make that extra hole. I don't see why you would need it. This gasket limits the opening, so we are not going to drill that thing. Okay. So this is the stud that goes in. Just going to thread it down in there. And we'll put a wrench on it to tighten it up. Got the battery cable connections done. Let's see if they'll focus. Heat shrink, ready to connect. This cable runs through under the rail. So back up here in the bow, we filled this hole for the wires with silicone, filled this one hole that wasn't doing anything anymore, also with silicone. And once this dries, then we can lay down our gasket, we can mount our windlass, and then connect up the wires, which are down in here. We're gonna go by what the installation manual says, and we're gonna put some silicone sealant around each of the holes underneath the gasket. I also want to know how thick the deck is between so I can trim those studs. So I've got 3 inches total of material for this thing to go through before the nuts get threaded on, so 3 inches. So to connect the 8-gauge wire that comes straight from the switches in the console out here, so this is 8-gauge wire, this looks like it's 10 or maybe 12, banking on 10. I'm using this conversion shrink fitting here. So one side is for the 8-gauge, the other side is smaller and for the 10-gauge. So this is the proper way to step down your gauge from one side to the other. Okay, 2 nice connections. Ready to cover these with some electrical tape just to add some additional assurance, and then bundle it up, wire tied in place, and that's it. All right, quick project update. We're here by the console. Switches aren't in yet, but at least we have this is our cable to the battery, and this is our cable to the windlass, all run and hidden. So now it's just a matter of hooking up the switches, well, the single switch, hooking up the contactor and the breaker. Then that'll be it. Then we can test it. Okay, so I've got everything laid out, how it's going to be installed, double checking it against the wiring instructions. So starting at the battery, positive terminal comes into the circuit breaker. So I've got a ring terminal where it comes in, 8-gauge, ring terminal where it comes out, right? And then we go over into the contactor. So ring terminals for connecting it, ring terminal for where it goes out to the windlass, back from the windlass through the negative, another ring terminal, and then these are for the switch. 3 of them connect to the back, and these are for where it will attach. 2 of them attach onto these bladed connectors, and then one of them will, this one here goes to directly to the battery. So that's it. Okay, so we just hooked up the cables in the back. You can see this is the new battery cable. Sorry, this is the new cable straight from the battery up to the windlass, to the controls. So it comes in, hooked it here to our starboard battery, house battery. Should be good. Okay, we're hitting final steps here. So already got the chain up through the new windlass. Now it's time to reinstall our anchor. Mouse it in place. Power's hooked up, so we should be good to go after this. Yes, I'm putting this upside down on purpose. Our bow pulpit hangs up on the winch mast on the trailer, and we haven't figured out exactly the fitting yet, so what helps is to have the anchor up. We don't leave it like this forever. It's just temporary. Okay, test cam mode. So the batteries are on. Now the breaker is on. So when I push this button, that anchor should go up or down. So I have it rigged where it can go down. Hopefully this works. That was a good noise. Wait, let's look. Okay, it's a little bit jammed. Let's do an intervention. Okay. Right. So that was in free spinning mode. That wasn't supposed to happen. Time to lock it down. Get the official Lumar tool. So the Lumar tool right here to lock this thing, put tension on it. Let's do that. Yeah, so using the tool, now we look like the book. This thing is up, out, this is out. Hopefully I can take this to power now. It's no longer paying out freely, that's good. We didn't want that to happen. Going off the manual. Oi. Banging around a lot, making a bunch of noise, hitting on the trailer. It's working though. Working as it's designed.